Hello, and welcome to Easy English Listening. My name is Sarah.
And my name is John. Today, we will talk about reading.
Yes, reading is very important. It helps us learn new words and understand English better.
That's right. In this podcast, we will talk about why reading is good, what we like to read, and how you can start reading in English.
And don't worry, we will use simple English so you can learn new words easily.
Sarah, why do you think reading is important?
Reading helps us learn new words. When we read, we see many different words. We learn how to use them.
Yes. And reading helps us understand English better. When we read, we see how words fit together in a sentence.
Also, reading helps us think better. When we read a story, we imagine the characters and the places. This is very good for our brains.
That's true. Reading also helps us relax. When I read a book, I feel calm and happy.
Me too. After a long day, I like to read a book. It helps me forget my problems and enjoy a new world.
Sarah, what do you like to read?
I like to read stories. I enjoy short stories because they are easy and fun.
That's great. Do you read every day?
Yes, I try to read for 20 minutes every day. What about you, John?
I like to read magazines and newspapers. I also enjoy books about history.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you read in the morning or at night?
I read at night before I go to bed. It helps me sleep better.
Now, let's help our listeners. How can you start reading in English?
First, choose an easy book. Don't start with a big, difficult book. Start with short stories or simple books for beginners.
Yes, and read every day, even for 5 or 10 minutes. A little reading every day will help you improve.
Also, don't worry if you don't understand every word. Try to guess the meaning from the sentence.
That's a great tip. You can also write new words in a notebook and practice them later.
And don't forget, you can also listen to books. Many books have audio versions.
Yes, listening to books can help with pronunciation too.
So, reading is very important. It helps us learn new words, understand English, and relax.
Yes, try to read every day. Start with easy books and don't be afraid to learn new words.
Now think about these questions. Do you like to read? What kind of books do you like? How can you read more in English?
You can talk about this with your friends or write about it in English.
And now, we will talk about important words from today's podcast. I will explain the words, give examples, and help you use them in English. Our first word is read. To read means to look at words and understand them. Example: I read a book every night before bed. Another example: she likes to read short stories. Reading helps us learn new words and understand new ideas. Our next word is story. A story is a group of words that tell something interesting. A story can be real or not real. Example: my grandmother tells me a story every night. Another example: I like to read stories about adventure. Stories help us imagine new places and people. The next word is learn. To learn means to get new knowledge. Example: children learn English at school. Another example: I want to learn 10 new words every day. When we read, we learn new things every day. Now, let's talk about understand. To understand means to know the meaning of something. Example, I don't understand this word. Can you help me? Another example, after reading the book, I understand the story better. Understanding new words helps us speak better and read better. Our next word is vocabulary. Vocabulary means all the words you know in a language. Example, reading helps me improve my vocabulary. Another example, she has a big English vocabulary because she reads a lot. A good vocabulary helps you talk, read, and write in English. Let's talk about pronunciation. Pronunciation is the way we say a word. Example, good pronunciation helps people understand you. Another example, she listens to audiobooks to improve her pronunciation. Listening to English books helps you learn correct pronunciation. Our next word is improve. To improve means to get better at something. Example, reading can improve your English. Another example, I want to improve my vocabulary and pronunciation. If you read every day, your English will improve a lot. So today, we learned many new words about reading. We talked about read, story, learn, understand, vocabulary, pronunciation, improve, and example. Now try to use these words in your own sentences. Think about these questions. What do you like to read? How do you improve your English? Can you use one of today's words in a sentence? You can write your answers or say them out loud to practice. Thank you for listening. See you next time on Easy English Listen.